Double or nothing?
Oh man.
We are here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which has an incredible brewing history. It is a history that has lasted even through Prohibition. In fact, it is estimated that during Prohibition, there were over 8,000 speakeasies in this city alone. That is a tradition that is kept alive and well here at Fermentary Form, which I have heard is only open when the green light is on.
Hey.
Are you Ethan?
Yeah, I am.
All right, I'm in the right place.
Howdy.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
What is this place?
This is Fermentary Form.
What do you make here?
We're really big fans of all of the old school Saison stuff. One of the things I wanted to do here was like, let's try to figure out our interpretation of what Saison may have tasted like at some point in the past. And so we're trying to bring back some of those flavors and think, what were those beers actually like? But I have one I'm actually pretty stoked on right now that's a collaboration with Human Robot. And we brew together so often that we noticed a lot of similarities. So we started like riffing on what if we did each other's beers? So I can give you a sample of that if you want.
I would love a sample of that.
Yeah.
Cheers to you, sir. It's a beer and a half right there. You mind showing me around?
Absolutely. We're standing here in front of the big barrel stack. This is where all of the blended beer comes from.
But this is, I mean, we're looking at your business in a
small pyramid.
That's wild.
We have anything from 1 year to close to 5 years. A lot of the older ones I use for the informal series, but that is marrying a barrel of sort of esteemed age with a young beer. You put them together and then you kind of see how it takes on a life of its own.
So if I go to the store and I buy a can of IPA, it usually says drink fresh and there's a date on the bottom. You're the opposite?
Everything here is built to keep. So like going back to talking about tradition and sort of responding to tradition, was that you could go to like a beer distributor and you could like pick up some bottles off the shelf and just like take them home and drink them. You didn't have to look at dates or anything. And I miss those days so much. When I thought about making these kind of beers, like one of the things that I really liked about that was that like my beers could do that. They could sit on that shelf, they could get dusty as hell, and it wouldn't really matter. Like you're still gonna open it, it's gonna taste great.
So this place was a little hard to find.
So where the green light comes from, there were these little chicherias. A drink made was basically from chewing corn. And these little bodegas that would make this product, they were generally someone's house. And so you need to lead someone there somehow, right? And so initially it was a bouquet of flowers. And that meant that chicha was ready. And so you could go in, have a couple glasses, and there might not be more for another week or 2 weeks. And so you wouldn't see anything until the flowers went back up. I love the idea of something otherwise not being there unless there was something to serve, right? In my mind, with the kind of beer we're making, it takes a long time. Something could go wrong. There could be lags when we don't have beer, right? I've actually shut down multiple times for months because we don't have anything to sell. And so that idea that it's not this storefront, which kind of means to people 9 to 5, it's always open, like it's always available. We could never do that, except when something special happens. Then you know you can come in and get the good stuff.
What is the Philly craft beer scene like?
It's very fraternal. I mean, there's the friendship between all the breweries and people looking out for each other. And the Philly scene's really cool in that way. You know, it's just like a bunch of friends, you know, making it happen. And
it is the city of brotherly love, isn't it?
It is.
So I see you got these black glasses here.
So this is a really fun thing that we and the crew around here do pretty often. And it's blindly tasting, just very straightforward. And really being honest about what you think.
So it's the black glass, so you can't see what it is.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna know if it is something that's been in the back of the fridge that you got 7 years ago at a gas station, or the finest Belgian lambic in the world.
Nope. I present you with mystery beer.
Thank you. I'm smelling malt, dark malt, maybe chocolate malt. It's a stout.
Where's the beer taking you?
It is balanced. It is surprisingly refreshing. It is something that I think if you were to put in a barrel, it would pick up a lot of character.
Sure.
I think that is how a stout should be made. This is actually terrific.
Yeah. It is the duck of rabbit.
That is a beer I have not had in a super long time. I appreciate that that's the one you pulled. I think this activity and this beer in particular is a reminder that the thing you're looking for is right under your nose.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. Oh, dude. This does not usually happen, but that dude got me pretty drunk. Oh man. I think I'm gonna start reading more literature, more traditional literature. You're not filming, are you? Oh shit. I need to get control of my life. The flea and the fly had the flu, so the flea, what should we do? All right, I'm good. Philadelphia and the surrounding 4 counties are home to over 90 breweries, but there's one I keep hearing about again and again, and especially from industry people. And when you hear about a brewery from other people who work in the beer industry, it's usually pretty good. That brewery is Human Robot.
This is the heart of the operation here, 3-vessel German brew house. Once we boil here, there's a whirlpool underneath. That allows us to start another beer when we're about halfway through the first. From there, we go into the cellar. Pretty small cellar here. We got 5 20-barrel fermenters and 2 30-barrel fermenters. We use these to dry hop. We can't open the top of the tanks because they're under pressure all the time. So rather than dropping the hops in, kind of push them in here, let them soak in the beer, and then push them out the next morning. This is one of the best malts in the world. They run a floor malting operation in the Czech Republic. It's at the Ferdinand Brewery. Floor malting is a foot or maybe even like 8 inches of depth on a concrete floor and with ambient temperature. And there are just people attending to it constantly until it's ready. So it's a little more variable. There's just character there that is a little different. This is how we survived the pandemic, probably. It only runs 22 cans a minute or so, but 2 operators can run it with a 3rd person stacking cases or checking DOs, checking carbonation.
This was another brewery.
This was another brewery called St. Benjamin, and I was the brewer here from 2015 to 2018. Somebody came and bought my baby and asked me to come brew, so here I am.
Can I try some of this beer?
What can I get for you?
But if I want a good, clean start-off beer, what would you recommend?
I think the Czech 10's probably up your alley.
Czech 10 it is.
All right.
I see you're using a tap that doesn't go vertically, it goes side to side.
Yes, so these faucets are from Luker in the Czech Republic. We like to use them for the Czech style beers because they generate this beautiful foam.
To you,
All right.
sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Matching mustaches.
Matching mustaches. We're like beer brothers. Is there anything about the Philly beer scene that you think is super unique?
There's a big tradition in Philly of still brewing some Belgian beer once in a while. I think that's got to be the influence of Tom Peters and Monks on a whole generation of people who started breweries. And the legacy of that is still kicking, which I think is great.
What do you see the future of this brewery as?
I see us sort of continuing doing what we're doing. We oddly sort of try to push boundaries of traditions. If it was a bagel shop, we would be trying to make the best damn plain bagel you ever ate in your life.
I have heard about a tradition here called the milk tube.
I knew this was coming.
So you've prepared for it.
Oh yeah, I'm always ready for a milk tube.
What is a milk tube?
So a milk tube is a fun take on a tradition for us. It's very much like doing a shot or something like that. During Oktoberfest this year, we had a milk tube race. The Seed from Atlantic City beat us on our own turf.
Well, it sounds like you're not that good at drinking milk tubes, which means I might be able to beat you.
So are we racing? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I love winning. This is it.
This is the tube.
How do we do it?
Cheers and go, basically.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Too close to call?
That might have been a photo finish. Double or nothing?
Oh man. I'm in if you are.
Double or nothing.
All right, now I have to really try though.
This one's for Pittsburgh. You're going for Philly.
I can't lose now.
No, I can't lose either.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, cheers.
Well, shit.
I can't let Pittsburgh beat me.
So I love lagers, and I love drinking lagers from people who make lagers well. And you, sir, make lagers well.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Which begs the question, what else you got?
Kenny, we're late. You gotta go film.
No, it's so early. Ugh. Oh, dude. I'm a little hungover from my big outing to Human Robot Brewing, but that's why I've come here to Reanimator Coffee to get some tasty bean water and meet with my friend Mike Wambolt, who is founder of Philadelphia's Crime and Punishment Brewing. What's Reanimator?
Reanimator is an awesome place to come get coffee. They were like the first smaller coffee shop I saw that was doing like coffee and beans for craft beer.
One of the things I love about beer is the community.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that we bonded over is the tattoo on your arm. You mind pulling that
These
sleeve
guys?
up?
Yeah, so there's Soren Kierkegaard and Abraham Heschel. He's kind of known as the father of existentialism.
So you have Kierkegaard and Heschel engaging in a dialogue on your right bicep.
Yeah.
You got a master's in theological philosophy,
Yeah.
and now you're a brewer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because I couldn't do anything with that degree.
that's a fascinating trajectory. What is the story?
I'm a founder and co-owner of Crime and Punishment Brewing Company here in Philly. And now we have our own spot. I don't think anyone else really in the city can say that. I think when you come to CMP, you understand like, oh yeah, they're doing something a little different.
And what do you do that's special at Crime and Punishment?
I don't do anything that's special.
I know you, and I know that's not true.
For me, it's more like set and setting there. I think is unique to Philadelphia because it's such a small little spot. I think we offer like a unique take on styles that have been forgotten. Being that it's sort of like old world European, we thought it'd be cool to like bring back Gratzer and Grodzisky and Kvass and Goza. No one was making them in Philly at least, and we're like, hey, let's do that. So it was like, oh wow, what is this thing that tastes like sausage lemonade that I'm having?
What style of beer tastes like sausage lemonade?
Grodzisky, yeah.
And you want that, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's smoked malt. It was in the description, like, oh, I gotta try this. And that's something we pride ourselves on, is being known in Philly as like a good brewery and brewers that make attentive and refined beers. You can do that for a couple years when you're new, and then eventually you have to start like making all the beers that everybody likes if you want to stay in business, because not everyone's just gonna keep showing up for these weird beers. It got us a lot of attention early on, so we always try to like make sure we sprinkle those in every now and again.
Well, cheers to that, my friend.
Yeah.
So far in Philadelphia, we have seen a couple organizations that speak to the boundless creativity of the modern brewing scene. But there's something to be said for tradition, which is why we are here at Monk's Cafe, which has defined tradition not only for Philadelphia, but for the entire East Coast. Let's go have a beer. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks so much for coming in, Kenny.
So tell me where we are, because I know this place as like the Mecca, the place on the East Coast you have to come. But for those who don't know, what is Monk's?
So we're at Monk's Cafe. We're in Center City, Philadelphia, 16th and Spruce. And we're just on an endless mission to bring the best beers in the world to our bar for the people of Philadelphia.
Who founded Monk's?
Tom Peters and Fergus Carey were the original two partners. Tom went to Belgium for the first time in 1984. And that was the first time he experienced like real Belgian beer. He was just blown away by the experience. And when he came home, he started pouring Chimay. And he and Fergie got together. Fergie already had a bar, and they became partners and opened this place to deliver the Belgian experience to Americans.
This is the famous Monk's Beer Bible.
Yeah, this is the bottle list. Pretty serious beer list, definitely highlighting the great beers of Belgium. We have a local section. We only serve the best beer in the world, and the standards here are incredibly high. Of course, in the 25 years Monk's has been open, the US has really made leaps and bounds in brewing innovation and quality. So now a lot of our list is American because these are the best beers in the world. There's only a few of the best breweries in the world that we can't get just because they don't distribute. So Tom has always spent a lot of time and resources traveling around the world, getting them connected with importers, distributors, and the people that can actually get it here.
It sounds like a labor of love.
It is definitely a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Help me out here. I thought I knew my way around a beer menu, but I'm overwhelmed.
Don't be intimidated. Tom recently blended a beer with Vinny Chilurzo at Russian River, and it is a special exclusive beer for Monk's 25th anniversary this year.
I would love to try that. So this is a celebration of 25 years of Monks.
Yeah, and our relationship with Russian River.
What role do you think Philadelphia played in the success of Monks?
Beer is very democratic to me. There's no pretension in Philadelphia. It doesn't fly here. So the realness of beer and the realness of Philadelphia definitely makes Monks what it is.
I know there's a back space that's a little more vibey. Can we check that out?
Yeah, let's go back there and taste some 20th anniversary beers. So these are some anniversary collaborations that we made over the years. So these 4 are all from our 20th anniversary 5 years ago. And these 2 are 25th anniversary beers. Monks had a hand in blending and creating all of these. This one is actually a really old one, the Cantillon. There's not a lot of this left. That was from 15 years maybe?
That beer is 15 years old? Wow.
Why don't you pick one?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You're gonna put this on me. I've never had a 15-year-old beer before.
So we should
so
do
if
this
you're
one.
open to it.
Okay, yeah, let's open it.
Brasserie Cantillon, bottled in 2006.
To you.
Cheers.
I haven't had one of these in a minute.
This is something.
I love Goose.
Talk to me about Goose. What is it?
So Goose is beer that is basically only from the Zen River Valley, and it's beer that is made by spontaneously fermenting the wort.
So this beer is super specific to a time and a place.
Definitely. It is beer terroir all the way.
Well, here's to 25 more years.
Cheers.
You like that? Well, Philly, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've had a blast here, but it's time to move on. Cheers.